What's up? Get Coach Jake here, coming at you live. I just want to talk a little bit about a few things. Instacart and some of their changes. I want to talk about what my DS, my driver specialist for GrubHub here in the Phoenix market, is doing with our drivers. It is crazy. I'm going to save that for the end. But right now I want to talk about Instacart and how it affects all the other gig economy apps. Whether you drive for Uber Eats, Postmates, GrubHub, even if you're a rideshare driver, Uber, Lyft, any one of those are going to be affected, and you'll understand why. So, Instacart's made some huge changes. I know they did this previously before. They've really killed their drivers. I mean, their earnings have gone down a great deal. I don't know if any of you have friends or if any of you drive for Instacart, but I don't myself. I'm not a shopper, but I know other drivers that do. And I've heard a lot about it, and I read up a bunch about it myself. So, what's up, Victor, Nancy, Jordan? Hope everyone's having a great day. Right into the story here. So, Instacart, they're now doing something similar that DoorDash does. They're showing how much you're going to make before you accept it. There's a minimum of $10. I know for all of us food delivery, like, that's not too bad, right? But they spend a lot of time with the shopping, and some of these orders end up being pretty big. They used to get paid commissions. They took away the commissions, so they were getting per item, so like 40 cents per item and things like that, and then pay boosts, pay bumps when they're having bigger deliveries. So people were able to make a great living off just shopping and doing the Instacart. Like all other gig economy apps, once they get a stronghold, they start to decrease how much the drivers are going to make, and that's how they start to turn a profit. The majority of them have never turned a profit, but their business model is, okay, let's get everybody enticed, build it up. Then as we get a market share that's strong enough, we can start to squeeze the drivers more and more and more. Anyone that has driven for Uber or knows anything about Uber, they have done that over the years, and they have set the blueprint basically for everybody else to follow. So now Instacart, here they are squeezing their drivers again, paying them less. You think they're making less? No way. That's how they're eventually going to pay back their investors and turn a profit. So they pay, so if you get a 5-star rating on Instacart, you can get extra $3. But they've made that even harder as far as that goes. They're including the tip in with that $10. So when they say that you have a $10 minimum, the tip's already ahead. The person, they can go back, the customer, they have up to 3 days to go back and either increase or decrease that tip. So Instacart's able to pay you less for shopping than you'd made before and use some of the delivery tip as their fee, their pay. So they're subsidizing. They're doing very similar to what DoorDash does. Anytime DoorDash, you get a good enough tip, they're going to pay you a lot less in delivery pay. So for those that get a lot more offers that are paying higher, by default, you're going to get a lot less in delivery pay, as where some of the other companies are set. So like we know $3.25 on GrubHub in my market plus mileage pay. So one of the good things that they did do for them is now they're paying them for mileage, and it's not as the crow flies. It is the fastest route. But like all these other companies, they make it sound like it's a great thing. They give you one little thing. Here, we'll give you a bone, as we take away so much more. And it's all a numbers game, right? They're just playing the numbers game, and they keep squeezing them. But they got sued before on this. They're going to get sued again. Mark my words. Instacart is going to get sued, and they're going to lose for mimicking DoorDash. DoorDash is also eventually going to get sued, but they kind of get away with it more because the drivers accept to making as low as $1 per delivery pay. So they're straight up about that. But where Instacart and DoorDash are going to get sued is lack of transparency. They do not show the breakdowns like they should. Within that, when they don't show the breakdown, it's a lot harder for you to catch them taking more money from you than what you were before. So, man, it's a smoke and mirrors approach. They all do it really well. DoorDash is great at, right? They add all these delivery promos when they're new in a market, and then they go down and down. They get less and less. They saturate the market with drivers, right? The more drivers that we have in a market, the more chance they have of these garbage offers getting picked up. For example, GrubHub is on a hiring frenzy in my market lately. So hire as many drivers as you can, especially newbies. Keep the newbies rolling in. They don't know any better. They're just going to accept. Human nature is we want to do good, right? We want to keep our acceptance rating up. We want to be in good, good graces. DoorDash is really good because they use the color system, right? It's in the green. If you're doing good, you're in the green. You get in the yellow, the red. It's all psychological. And when we start to see those colors, oh, I'm in the yellow and red, it really starts to affect your decisions and your habits and what you're going to do. And they know that. So a lot of good psychological stuff that all these companies use. Again, Uber set the blueprint, and these guys are just following them. Uber's been sued multiple times. Lyft's been sued. Lyft's probably going to sell it to Amazon soon. So stay tuned for that. Lyft stopped getting a growth in market share and on Uber like they were before. At some point, they're going to sell out because they're not the big dogs in the market, and they just have to copy everything Uber does. But at some point, they're going to sell it to the highest bidder, Amazon, who really wants to get in. Maybe one of these car manufacturer companies that are getting into the autonomous game. Anyhow, none of these companies care about us. Be smart. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. I always say that. Sign up for multiple different apps. I know DoorDash in my market's running a driver referral. They're the worst company. So if somebody does need to make extra income and they sign up with that company, I'll definitely try to help them out the best I can to make more money, be successful without making bad choices. 150 rides in a month's time, or what is it? I don't know how many days it is, but anyway. So tipping and rating are harder on Instacart. They took away commissions, the per item pay. They're paying a mileage pay, but the drivers are making a lot less money. The drivers are actually going to be looking out for a lawsuit because if it's a breach of contract. One of the things that they agreed to was transparency. So where this is going to affect you, and I've already seen some of it happen, drivers from Instacart are looking for other ways to make money. It's Christmas time. People are hungry and desperate to make as much money as they can, and I understand, especially if you have a family. You want to provide for that family. You want to make as much as you can, and you have all these extra revenue sources. Well, those who are making great money in Instacart, they're struggling. They're panicking. They're now signing up for DoorDash, GrubHub, Postmates, you name it, Lyft, Uber, anything that's going to make them some extra cash right now. So that is how Instacart is going to affect you no matter what gig economy app that you work for. It's the trickle effect, right? Cause and effect. And you can see it in some of the posts out there. You'll start to see some people talking about, hey, I'm coming from Instacart. I know one lady in our market, she actually got deactivated from Instacart before this happened, so lucky for her. Otherwise, she'd be screaming the same tune too. They're making less. They're going for other places to make money. GrubHub, any of those. Don't worry, don't panic, because when it comes tax time, a lot of people are going to stop driving as much. My favorite time of year. Come February, people either realize how much they're going to pay in taxes doing this job, or they didn't track mileage proper enough and they're paying out the butt and they're saying, screw this. Another one's those that say have kids and get good tax returns from that. They have extra money. They don't have that need. It's not the holidays. There'll be a lot less drivers, and one of my favorite times of year, especially here in Arizona. It's beautiful out, a lot of events, and I can't wait. So, story about what my driver specialist is doing in my market here in Phoenix. They went from a 3-strike policy in GrubHub. Here, I don't know about some of the other ones, but what we do know is when they test something in a market, in a big market, and it works, they spread it out everywhere else over time. Like those at Instacart that aren't experiencing the pay changes yet, you will by the end of the year, for sure. The plan is for that to be in all markets. Back to the story here. So, they're down to 2 strikes. We know these strikes that they're given, some of it's pretty silly, and it's things that they could have contacted us through with an email to fix it and give us a warning. And if it happened again, then take away blocks and give a strike, right? It's a trick bag to get us into losing block access to keep, again, the ones that are going to accept all these garbage offers rolling. They have now told at least 2 people. I have a voice recording of my driver specialist telling this driver, and I listened to it, if he accepts all offers, low and far, and he even explained, he's like, well, some of these are across, they're half an hour away from, she goes, I understand, but you have to accept all offers, low and far, for 90 days. For 90 days, you have to accept all offers, low and far, off block. And we know sometimes those offers off block are the scraps, absolute scraps. Sometimes those nice, good ones slip through, but man, I couldn't imagine accepting all offers on block, let alone off block. I mean, it just blows my mind, right? Just so 2 strikes, and then you have to accept everything for 90 days for them to consider, to look at your account and consider giving you block access back. That doesn't even mean you're going to get access back. They didn't guarantee that. So that's just crazy. So what that does is that it manipulates drivers into accepting all those offers. So those ones that trickle through, all their job is to do is just get offers accepted, however, and at low, no cost. Instead of subsidizing, what they should do is, like on some of these Taco Bell offers, some of these other ones that don't have a tip. I know some of you have seen, they're like, holy crap, there was no tip, but I got paid 8, 9, 10, even 12. Sorry about that. Phone just went haywire. Who would have known that overheat just because I'm in the sun here? I mean, it's not even 70 degrees. But anyway, I'm sorry about that. Wasn't a lag. Craziness, right? So you have to accept everything for 90 days to get them back. 2 strikes. So now that freaks drivers out even more. They start to hear about that. Now they're going to try and keep it in good graces. But the common theme is people having a low acceptance rating, right? We know they don't like that. They want all offers accepted. They don't like these ones just being kicked around. You know what I mean? It just blows my mind, though. Again, I keep saying it over and over, that they would think that's okay. You rest assured that they could potentially be sued for that. I mean, if it wasn't manipulating with the tiered system and everything they have in place. So an audiobook that I recently listened to, it was about the power of habit, and talks about how do you change habits and the things that control habits. Well, what controls habits are rewards. So when you have a tiered system, again, psychology, they're using, I mean, smart, right? A lot of things they do are completely stupid, but they're hiring very smart people that are like, okay, this is what you need to do, that. Or people that are in place that, you know, doing these psychological tactics to manipulate into doing whatever. I'm talking about all companies, Charles. I'm talking about GrubHub specifically now with the driver specialist. Anyhow, it scares people into doing that so that they can keep in the good graces, right? I lost my train of thought, but you can rest assured that with that being added to their tiered system, rewards, back to the rewards, that's where it was. Sorry. By rewarding people, first access to blocks, right? Block scheduling, access to catering, all those things, those are rewards. Those are incentives for people to have the habit of accept 95% plus and just be a good little employee. They're essentially employers getting us to act like employees without paying taxes as an employer. Let's see, unemployment, workman's comp, all kinds of things, you name it. They're getting away with a lot. So all these gig companies are doing the same thing. Again, Uber set the blueprint for all of them. I don't know if anybody else has that going on in their market. Send me an email, gigcoachjake@gmail.com. Check out my website, gigcoachjake.com. If you want to learn more about me, how I got started into gig economy and some of my background and why I do what I do. So let's go through here and see kind of some questions. I'm sorry, I want to spend this time on a live stream really talking about what's going on, and then kind of looking about some of the questions or anything you guys want to ask, or ladies. Yes, you want to think about flexibility of schedule, right? Being an independent contractor. A lot of things they do really kind of pigeonhole us into schedules, and we really lose a lot of flexibility as independent contractors across the board. all companies. When Lyft, I worked for Lyft, they did the same thing. They had the power driver bonus, or they had peak hours, peak schedule, but they all have their own little measures and methods that they're using. Let's see. People didn't work blocks, there would be no issue. Yeah, if we didn't have blocks. So again, having blocks is another way that they control us as employees, right? It's another way that they're breaking our rights as independent contractors. That's a great one, Elizabeth. So I would like to see them get rid of blocks altogether. I mean, like DoorDash, you can schedule a dash, you can do that. They say that you have priority whether you're on or not. I've never seen it. It's the same on both. GrubHub's the only system I've seen where it's set up. You have to schedule, and it really affects the amount of money that you're going to make or not make. I mean, and again, back to affecting our decisions. If you're going to make more money, that's your reward. It's going to affect how you're going to act, how you're going to go about your business. You're going to make less dollar per mile. You're going to operate your car in a very inefficient manner. You're going to make less money than you really could with your time. It's a bad. We should be able to bid for offers. So the one good thing I did miss about Instacart that I forgot to add, if you are an Instacart shopper, you guys, if you get these bad offers, you should be reject, because they start to increase the offer as it gets rejected. That's what I'd like to see GrubHub start doing, right? We reject. Instead of them keep kicking around and make the drivers into the bad people, they should start to increase the offer, right? Increase it until somebody accepts it. I mean, there's some things they can do to really be a great platform and to just blow everyone out of the water. And man, I wish they would kind of get rid of their greedy ways and start to take care of your drivers, because it will lead to them over the long haul. Better quality, better retention. They won't have to run all these games. Guess what? I make better money on the platform. You take better care of me. You quit dispatching me where I got to go wait 20 minutes at a place. I'm going to take more offers. I'm going to be more efficient. I'm going to take lower offers because now I can make more money per hour by being more efficient. Blows me away, you know? Yeah. No tip, no delivery. Exactly. Just like you said, Elizabeth. No tip, no delivery. Period. And if we all did that, so for those that are new for GrubHub, you can kind of base it on, you know, how close it is. If it's relatively close and it's not much more than $4 or $5, it's not worth your time. They didn't really tip you. And if somebody gave me a 1 penny tip, that's like a slap in the face. I'd rather you put 0 than 1 penny, because that's ultimate disrespect. Man, I never accept those, but has anybody seen Ace Ventura: Pet Detective? In the beginning of the movie, he's like a UPS delivery driver, and he has his package. And he's dropping it, rolling it, kicking around. He stomps on it. He does like a field goal kick with the thing. If I were one of you drivers and I got one of those orders, I just might pull one of those moves that Ace Ventura pulled with that package. And if you haven't seen that, go YouTube, Google, find it. You got to watch the opening clip to that, and you'll know exactly. You guys will be laughing your butts off. It's hilarious. But I always think about that anytime I see some of these posts with the 1 penny tip and the craziness that goes on. But yeah, if it's less than like $6, $7, don't waste your time. Keep it going. Keep it going. If we all did that as a whole, they would have to start raising it until we did accept it. So in a way, cause and effect, we kind of create our own demise. But again, I understand there's a lot of psychological tactics involved in a play here. People just aren't used to, especially if you've never been an independent contractor before. So they make so much money, they can afford to increase the offer. Yes, Elizabeth, GrubHub is the one profitable company. We've all seen them trading publicly and the increase that they've made. They can afford to pay us extra on those offers instead of making the drivers out to be the bad people, restricting our blocks, and playing all these crazy games. And I'm telling you right now, they're going to get sued for this crap, and that's what's going to change it all. So when that happens, remember this video and remember, mark my word, the words that I said. I'm not saying I'm being responsible, but they're going to get sued for this crap. I guarantee it. Anyhow, right? Reject DoorDash and Postmates all the time. Feels good. Charles, it really can be an empowering thing to reject And by human nature, I mean, I have a great work ethic. That's what I was taught. We want to do a great job, work hard. And it's tough for us to reject and play these games of men. People will take advantage of you. No non-tippers, for example. People will take advantage of the system if they can, and they don't care what your losses are. If you're using your car, they don't give a crap. If we make better choices, they cannot get away with that stuff. We enable this behavior by accepting a lot of offers. So with that being said, check me out, getcoachjake.com. Send me any stories, any emails. Get Coach. Man, did you guys get that? I hope you did. So again, one more time, check me out, getcoachjake.com. See a little bit more about my story, how I get into rideshare and then into food delivery, and more about my background. And if you need some help with anything, don't hesitate to shoot me an email. You can also contact me and connect with me on social media. In the information link down below, I'll have all the links for the social media links. Have a great day and make that money.